Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I'm noticing a pattern, and that is of people that are tweeting people in places that where they would have to have a certain responsibility, I would think. This is Dr. Martin Hisbach from Uphold, and he says we are finally seeing the fruits of increase. I mean, I've shown you these. I've put them all together. We're finally seeing the fruits of increased development on XRP since the lawsuit was settled. And XRP ETP is around the corner too. There is life in the old girl. And then we've got this. This was Sean McBride, who apparently worked at Ripple, says you will see an XRP ETF in 2024 or 2025. You will also see a Ripple IPO outside the US in 2025. And then Uphold itself, the company, tweets this out, referring to Martin Hisbach's tweet. So they're reinforcing it. It is an XRP ETF on the horizon. And it references that article which has his tweet in it. So let's go back and recap. Luckily, XRP Drops with a Z did a little compilation on XRP ETFs.
So you would welcome an XRP ETF then?
We would certainly welcome it, and I think it's inevitable that there'll be, multiple ETFs around different tokens. And I think you'll even see ETFs potentially around baskets that also, I think, further diversify that risk.
I think we're going to see a lot of filings come out for Ethereum. I even think we might see something for Ripple, given the recent progress. You notice that Grayscale just added Ripple to one of their trusts. It's publicly traded. So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw Ripple or Ethereum spot ETFs out there.
How about an XRP ETF? I know you got Ether out there. How about XRP? Can you answer?
The funny thing about that question is that Charles Gasparino was teeing that up because he assumed that the guys are going to just laugh and say, no, we're not doing an XRP ETF. And Charles Gasparino got a big middle finger right to the face.
I can't. And you don't want me to.
I do.
Well, I can't.
All right.
Exactly. I can't. Everybody can't talk about Ripple and XRP. Chris Giancarlo can't talk about XRP. The CTO of R3 can't talk about XRP. So many people can't talk about XRP or Ripple. I can. That's why I'm here. Now, let me move along. This is from the Digital Pound Foundation, who can apparently talk about Ripple anyway. Photos from yesterday's Tokenization Policy Summit organized by Ripple and Imperial College of Business School, Center for Financial Technology. Look at this. Tokenization Policy Summit. Andrew Whitworth from Ripple, Digital Asset Innovation in the UK, tokenizing deposits and real-world assets. Panel discussion. All about tokenization, it looks like. Let's see. Here's some of them on stage. I wish I could see a zoom in of that screen with all those companies and ecosystems on it, but I can't. Okay, Brad Garlinghouse named one of the top 15 cryptocurrencies leaders in the world. And then we have, and that was by, I don't know who did that, but anyway. Now, this is huge. This is Tristan Levitt. I think I'm saying that right. He is the president of Empower, the nonprofit, okay? Empower's fight for transparency at the SEC continues. The more we learn, the worse the conflicts of interest look. He's got an ETHgate hashtag and an XRP Army hashtag. Then he says, we've learned a lot from our prior Freedom of Information Act requests, such as how hedge fund Andreessen Horowitz arranged a meeting for parties to advocate to Hinman that Ether wasn't a security. And then after Hinman declared in 2018 what they wanted, hired him as an advisor when he left the SEC. We've also learned that the venture capital firm the former SEC chair Jay Clayton became an advisor to, Electric Capital, has invested in developer of Ether, Consensus. Electric Capital was formed during Clayton's tenure. What interactions did he have with them as SEC chair? And find the full Freedom of Information Act request here. Then Jason Forrester, who is one of the founders of Empower, comes in. Here's the full PDF of our latest request to the SEC with highlighted screenshots. Check this out. In 2022, Mr. Clayton was named as an advisor for Electric Capital, a crypto-focused venture capital firm that was established in 2018. While Mr. Clayton was serving as SEC chair, notably Electric Capital has invested in Consensus, which is a developer of Ether. Between William Hinman and these are the records they're asking for. This is like hardcore, folks. They want all records of communications from May 2017 through December 2020 between William Hinman and any individual from Andreessen Horowitz, including Scott Cooper, Ryan Ward, and any email address from the domain A16Z. 2, all records William Hinman's communications May 2017 to December 2020 with keywords Canaan or Andreessen. And Canaan, folks, remember, that's that Chinese company that was in the mining business that I think Hinman helped take public, or Hinman and Clayton allowed under their tenure to go public at the SEC. China. All records from those dates between Jay Clayton and any individual from Electric Capital, including email addresses from the domain electriccapital.com, at electriccapital.com. All records of Jay Clayton's communications from those same dates. Keywords: Electric Capital, Ether, Ethereum, Consensus. They've got it twice, I think. Or One River. Oh, these guys are like, I mean, they're not leaving a lot of room for these clowns to squirm, folks. Look at this one from Smoke. Smoke. The flip of the switch now depends on regulatory approval. This is a tweet. This guy went to, CEO of Metrica, went to the Goldman Sachs 2023 Fall Digital Assets Conference, and he's talking about his barometer. Technology. A lot of speakers agreed that a lot of technology and infrastructure for institutional adoption has now been built, which was an obstacle previously. The flip of the switch now depends on regulatory approval. That's all we're waiting on now, folks. And then here is Warren Davidson talking about commodity-backed stablecoins.
That in the market today, there are commodity-backed stablecoins. So in the absence of regulation by the federal government, the New York Department of Financial Services, for example, has recognized commodity-backed stablecoins. And commodity-backed stablecoins, to be clear, are a little different than what we think of as dollar-denominated stablecoins. So if you had a commodity-backed stablecoin backed by gold, it's stable because the value of it represents 1 ounce of gold. In the case of New York Department of Financial Services, they regulate a commodity-backed stablecoin backed by gold, and they have the entity offering it has physical custody of gold that is audited in conformance with the process laid out by this bill. And so I hope that we can get there. I'm thankful to be working with Mr. Himes for a possible amendment moving forward that would account for commodity-backed stablecoins. As part of our conversation, Mr. Himes has agreed to consider a regulatory regime for certain tokens that are backed by gold to make sure that one token equates to the promised amount of gold from the issuer. These would not be denominated in dollars, but would be redeemable for a fixed amount of the underlying commodity. And we're working on that language because that's a little different than the way that...
I've heard enough, folks. Remember this, folks. This is not stablecoin legislation. This is tokenization of real-world assets legislation. That's what it is. Now, I tweeted this out yesterday when all this TikTok stuff. It was weird to me that out of nowhere, all of a sudden, all of Congress wants to talk about the, that country that starts with a C and its infiltration of every aspect of our government. All of a sudden, they want to talk about it in terms of TikTok. Well, this is what I tweeted yesterday. I believe that the TikTok ban is really, think about it, the same people who have not been willing to say anything bad about China, you know, or that country that starts with a C. Same people who have not been willing to say anything bad about them and seemingly seem to be working for them, probably because they're compromised in some way. The same people, what is their greatest enemy? Their greatest enemy is not TikTok. It's X, because X is the only platform that is calling out these people's potential of being compromised by that country that starts with a C. So when you open the can of worms, that's what I immediately thought. When I see them trying to open the can of worms to ban TikTok, I'm thinking X, because that's what they really want to ban. TikTok, that's their buddies that run that, the country that starts with a C. The guys that are trying to hold them accountable for being treasonous traitors, those are the people, the only truth that can be told about that is on X. I believe this is a setup, so keep your eyes peeled. Check this out. Now, look, this is just a comment of some guy in some guy's stream, but it's still interesting.
Oh, wow, Joe. Here's another. See, I love these personal stories that you guys share. Yesterday, I talked to a guy working with maintaining banks' ATMs and such, and he told me that all banks will have USTNs by the end of March.
USTN would be a United States.
Oh, wow, Joe.
United States Treasury note. What is that on this guy's wall? Is that like the end of a ship or something? Is that what is that? I was sitting here looking at, these look like some kind of shells or something. Anyway. Okay, in DAI XRP, we're going to talk about several things. First thing is I've got about a 2-minute clip that I know it's very similar to the one that we found that they were censoring, and I know they'll censor this one too. So I'm going to play it for you before I put it on X. I'm going to play it for the people in the group. It's DAIXRP.com. We're also going to talk about, we're going to show you something about bail-ins, the gold manipulation, COMEX. We're going to talk about, I believe that there is a controlled demolition going on in the United States of America. I believe the people running the show want the dollar dethroned, and I think I can at least prove part of it. And so we're going to talk about all of that. And this is the danger zone. We do talk about things in there that you just can't talk about anymore, and so for that reason, it's Friday. I'm going to play Kenny Loggins' Danger Zone going into the group. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family to come to DAIXRP.com, and we're going to go into the danger zone. See you in there.